The trailblazers, the dream catchers, the rock stars of the startup world. We showcase their stories, their fears, and their victories. That was the startup world till last year. But now there's been a big turmoil in this world. Valuations are being questioned, ambitions are being reconsidered, and many believe that the Indian startups that were badly in need of a reality check got it. And how? But is it all doom and gloom now? Is the euphoria gone forever? Will innovations dry up? Will the startup world become a kneel down and roll over world? Not at all. Yes, Unicorn Season 2 is back, bigger, bolder, and edgier.
Tradition, culture, the beauty of artisanal handlooms. These are some of the images that come to mind when I think of the startup we're focusing on today. This is Jaipur, an online seller of traditional crafts and fabrics. Armed with a new round of funding, Jaipur is all set to scale up, and its founders say they've got the financial plan to sustain it. But the online marketplace is crowded, and every company is vying for both monopoly and territory. So does Jaipur have what it takes to strike a chord with its customers? We'll find out.
We believe that culture is the fabric of life.
The world is turning into one homogeneous global theme park, and there's a real risk that the unique character that this part of the world has acquired over millennia will be lost in a matter of a few generations.
Jaipur is our humble attempt to try and turn the tide, to showcase our culture and legacy that manifests so splendidly in our craft forms.
A culture and legacy which often falls through the strands of time and may be lost forever. Showcasing this heritage on a revenue-generating platform is no easy feat. And that's the mission of these founders. Meet Shilpa Sharma, the co-founder of Jaipur, an e-commerce portal which aims to take Indian-made products to the world. And matching her vision craft by craft is co-founder Puneet Chawla, who realized that the huge market for Indian crafts was as yet unconquered. Together they realized that most e-commerce businesses in India were spending big bucks to acquire local customers and convincing them to shop online.
Jaipur is an online retailer for some of India's most beautiful handcrafted products. We showcase a variety of products that are sourced from all across the country, right from fashion and lifestyle accessories to jewelry. We do a lot of home decor and art.
For us here at Jaipur, it's all about finding a way to weave in a contemporary and a very, very urban chic aesthetic along with traditional craft technique based products.
The idea is to curate some of the most beautiful handcrafted products from all across the country and showcase it to a global audience on our website.
Jaipur has focused on reviving and empowering traditional Indian crafts and textiles to create a scalable and sustainable business, and has managed to stay profitable in the highly competitive online retail space. And recently, Jaipur raised $5 million in its first round of institutional funding from Avishkar, an innovator in early stage investing.
Early days, the fact that we were bootstrapped and there was a lot of roughing it out and we weren't necessarily spending too much money, I think did help. Because of that, what we've done is we've built a business with solid unit economics. We've always been very bottom line focused and made sure that at the end of the month we take home some money, and I think that has led us to building a sustainable business, which if we had a lot of money on day one, we probably wouldn't have. We probably would have splurged.
Jaipur presents collections online by partnering with artisanal communities, textile designers and independent artists, and curates it on a visually appealing platform. The Jaipur founders know that there is a huge appetite for traditional crafts and most are willing to pay a huge price for it. which is why each item is carefully prepared, packaged and shipped across with extra attention to detail, says the Jaipur team. But every founder has an objective, a lofty and at times bold ambition. What will it be for Jaipur?
Our objective here at Jaipur will always be to find a subtle way of introducing a very, very modern outlook to traditional product and create a design language of our own, one that identifies us with the product. To say that we want to be the ambassadors of the national aesthetic of the country would be a good way of putting it.
But e-commerce is a sea where many have dived in headfirst and not all have survived. Some have drowned. Is Jaipur resilient enough to survive the changing dynamics of the Indian startup ecosystem?
So the resilience that you talk about has actually been a part of our DNA pretty much since day one. We've actually mastered that approach over the last 4 years. So I feel that we are very well positioned to take advantage of the landscape, of the new landscape of needing to be more resilient, and we've actually pretty much got a head start over the others, and we see that the future is bright for us.
Well, it's going to take a lot more than just words to convince us, because let's be frank, many are saying that the party is over for Indian startups. But we want to go beyond the doom and gloom and ask some pertinent questions. Where does Jaipur source its wares from? What benefits does it provide to local manufacturers? How will Jaipur differentiate itself from other online retailers?
Our biggest differentiator always has been the quality of our curation. We travel the length and breadth of the country to find very, very high quality, exquisite handcrafted product, right from the artisans, and offer that on a platform which is available for the global buyer.
So I understand you guys have gotten some additional funding recently. What do you plan to do with the new cash flow?
We've been bootstrapped for the last 3 years. Each one of us have been doing 3 jobs. We intend to hire a bunch of people and get a solid team in place for the growth that's been projected for the next 5 years. Also, we plan to spend some money on brand building. Thus far, most of our marketing initiatives have been online, which is mostly performance-driven marketing. But we do want to get a brand positioning in place.
We've heard it from Puneet about all his plans to make his brand a force to reckon with. Let's now find out what Shilpa has to say.
The Indian retail space is obviously very overcrowded. How does Jaipur stand out?
In this day and age where time is money, it's just so much easier for people to be able to shop from the comfort of their own homes and know that somebody else has made all the effort that is required to curate the finest quality of product from across the country.
How does that directly impact local artisans?
So when we go out and source fabrics from different geographies, what we're also trying to do, in addition to sourcing and procuring product from them, is to invest design time and energies in moving their product up the value chain. So that gives them an opportunity to create a whole fresh lineup of product.
So cockroach startups are seen as those hardy, resilient, can survive anything companies. Does Jaipur ID as a cockroach company?
I think we've been a very, very lean and mean startup. In early days when we weren't very sure about how much money we would have to give ourselves a runway, we've always been very, very frugal with the way we've managed our costs, the way we've run the business. And that's the one thing that I think that sets us apart from every other startup, every other e-commerce venture in the country today.
An online brand dedicated to creating a unique interpretation of age-old crafts. This was e-tailer Jaipur. Time now for our mentors to have the last word. Meet Padmaja Ruparel, the dynamic and outspoken president of one of the world's largest group of business angels, Indian Angel Network. Under Padmaja's leadership, IAN has gathered over 100 stellar companies in its portfolio that span 7 countries. She knows a good idea when she sees one. Meet our mentor Rajat Tandon, Vice President of NASSCOM 10,000 Startups. Rajat is actively involved in scaling up the startup ecosystem in India and advises the many startups under NASSCOM's 10K program.
to me, it's a strong founding team with a clear focus on unit economics, which is very important because that is what builds the profitability of the company. And it has been able to, I think, curate products which caters to the taste of the customers that they are targeting.
They have to build this armor so that their uniqueness continues to remain a uniqueness, and so that other people in the industry, which are similar industry in the e-commerce, are not jumping into their bandwagon and trying to offer competitive solutions.
They will need to keep the profitability, their current unit economics very sharp. And with the overall e-com space that we are seeing, I think this is one challenge they will have to keep ahead of.
If you trace the genesis of a great idea, it often begins in some small city or far-flung town, often where its creator grew up. This holds true for startups as well. In the past, when startups began in smaller cities, like Ask Layla or Instamedia, they moved to the bigger metropolitans when their ideas took off or they wanted to scale up. Now, it looks like that tide is turning. India's non-metropolitan cities are becoming hotbeds for ideas and innovation as entrepreneurs move their startups out of the big cities and take them back to their roots. They say they do it to survive, to attract talent, and to garner funds. Let's find out more about this changing trend.
We've seen a lot of startups coming up from the smaller cities, and these guys are really strong propositions because I think their understanding of the on-ground realities in their markets are much better. In the smaller cities, they know exactly how to sell to the little guy, and that's essential.
The bigger cities like Bangalore, Delhi, the big metros, they haven't actually lived up to their promise. The cost of operating a company has been increasing, but the quality and the ease has not been corresponding to the cost. While on the other hand, second tier cities have lower costs and the competition to hire good people is also less.
A unique animated robot which can sing, dance, be happy, or sad. No, I'm not talking about Vicky from Small Wonder. I'm talking about Moorebot, a new project on crowdfunding platform Indiegogo that uses robotic technology to mimic human eye expressions.
A fully customizable, animated, cool personal assistant. Meet the adorable Moorebot. In addition to being a full-featured electronic assistant, Moorebot is an entertainer by itself. The simple, compact design can fit almost anywhere, and its open platform allows you to customize the robot's behavior, giving it a unique ability to learn. This project on crowdfunding platform Indiegogo impressed us quite a bit. Developed by Pilot Labs, Moorebot has raised around $57,098, which is around 39 lakh rupees. This unique animated robot for homes, businesses and office use combines robotic technology and cloud intelligence with a unique one-eyed camera design that can abstractly mimic human eye expressions. Like a living thing, it responds to its environment and learns to respond to various spoken commands and instructions.
Do you know what a bootstrap startup is? It's a venture that has taken off without any source of external funding or financial help. The struggles are harder for startups like these, but hey, they get to make their own rules. This is Wingify, a product startup that helps the likes of Microsoft and Disney increase their revenue. How? Let's find out.
The knowledge and technology we create will be able to impact universe at a large scale. It's amazing to know that human creations can have an impact that would span galaxies and stars. And all acts of human creations, be it large or small, contribute to that human potential. For me, what gets me up from bed every morning is to create things that nobody else has thought of before.
Creating something that no one else has thought of before. Big claims from two young founders of Wingify, a startup claiming to give big companies wings. How? By helping them increase their revenue. Meet Paras Chopra, the founder and CEO who started this venture after dabbling in many not-so-successful startups and found success in Wingify. Meet Sparsh Gupta, the co-founder at Wingify, who majored in artificial intelligence at Oxford University. Together, the two aim to make Wingify one of India's leading product startups with customers like Microsoft, General Electric and Disney already in the kitty. But hang on a second, what exactly does Wingify do?
Wingify is a software product company that makes multiple products for marketers to just do more effective marketing on their websites. So our main product is Visual Website Optimizer, and the basic idea of that product is that you can really test out different versions of your website. Say you can test out blue with red version and see which version works best.
You heard it from Paras. Started in 2009 by the dynamic duo, Wingify has now bootstrapped its way to success globally with offices across Delhi, Pune and New York. Its flagship product, Visual Website Optimizer, is used by more than 4,300 brands across 87 countries to analyze web activity and increase conversions. And Wingify has an impressive list of customers. Giants like Microsoft, ShopClues, BookMyShow, Rackspace and more. Why do we care about this startup? Wingify has seen rapid growth and has achieved a monthly recurring revenue of $1 million, which many say is a coveted landmark for any product company.
For the first 3 or 4 years, you're really in that mode of whether we'll survive or will not survive. But now that we've survived and we've grown and our products are used by customers across 90+ countries, now we have such a strong belief that it has to leapfrog from here to 100x or 1000x much larger impact.
Wingify has never relied on external money. Even if the outside investment world is slimming down, there's investment is drying up, it do not impact Wingify in a direct sense because we don't rely on them.
And that's not all. Wingify also acquired US-based Navalytics, a visitor analytics solution, to assemble a crucial piece of marketing technology sought out by enterprises across the globe. So while all this sounds great, we have some questions. Wingify operates in a very niche space. How will it reach a wider customer base? Does this startup have the talent and scale to survive the ongoing startup turmoil? Scale versus scope. What is the USP of Wingify?
So in the last 6 years, we've grown to about 5,000 clients in 90+ countries. So the idea now really is to really replicate the model that we have with our first product, Visual Website Optimizer, and just enter into new markets with newer products. So we've launched a second product, Pushkru, only last year, and it has acquired 600 clients of its own. So we want to replicate the entire experience and the whole process of building a startup again and again within Wingify, and that's how we intend to grow over the coming years.
So it's, there are a lot of services and softwares and products out there in the market, and a lot of problems are catered by them. But when it actually comes down to doing a very efficient job at it, doing a very simple job at it, that's where I see a lot of gap in the industry, and I think that's the core of Wingify.
We're big believers in running a marathon rather than a sprint. So we are sort of gearing ourselves for the next 30, 40, 50 years rather than just next 2 or 3 years. So we really believe on the idea that great ideas and great things take their own sweet time to unfold. So I think it's definitely gradualness of our growth which we are very interested in, rather than just sitting on a rocket ship and either going to the moon or crashing into Earth. Cockroaches are rightly so resilient when they survive even a nuclear sort of radiation, and they can survive without food over a course of days, and they're just very good at survival. And I think that's what really counts for companies that are built for a very, very long term. We don't have an external pressure to just keep growing month after another. So if there's a lean patch, we can really sail over it until the next phase of growth comes on.
A product startup which has bootstrapped its way to success and loves being called a resilient cockroach startup. Well, let's find out if the mentors think these founders are resilient enough.
You know, Wingify is a very interesting company. It's one of those product companies out of India which has started to go global with their, reaching out in New York. But more interestingly is they are bootstrapped. They've obviously got both technical, but they also have the business side covered, and that's what they are doing in tracking this company so well.
Under the VWO, there are many players, right? So they will have to keep innovating themselves. They will have to keep providing innovative solutions for their customers. So I think innovation has to be on top of their mind if they're looking at this particular market.
Is a question that I would have for them. Is it time for you to now take investment and actually scale up and start becoming one of the proudest product companies out of the country?
A startup which aims to transform the way we look at Indian crafts and textiles by showcasing them across a wide, captivating platform. Jaipur is an e-tailer with a difference. And Wingify aims to be the product startup helping global businesses reach new heights. Two stellar startups with stellar stories. These ventures are going to leave an indelible mark on the Indian startup ecosystem.